For 80 years, we've been told one thing. Batman is the hero Gotham needs. But what if that's the biggest lie in comic book history? What if the Dark Knight isn't saving Gotham? What if he's holding it hostage? Think of him like a doctor who doesn't cure his patient, but just keeps treating the symptoms to make sure they always have a reason to come back. The evidence from the comics is pretty clear. Before Batman, Gotham had mobsters. After Batman, it has monsters. This isn't the story of a hero saving a city. This is the story of how he may have unintentionally become its greatest villain. Before the Bat, Gotham's crime problem was, believe it or not, kinda normal. It was a city drowning in corruption and organized crime run by predictable mob bosses like Karma and Falcone. They were brutal, sure, but they were businessmen. They cared about profit and territory. Then a man dressed as a bat declared war not on the system, but on the criminals. And by doing that, he changed the game forever. This is the escalation theory. As Commissioner Gordon warns in Batman, begins when the police escalate with semi-automatics, criminals buy automatics. So, when Batman escalated the game to symbols and theatricality, the criminals had to respond in kind. He didn't just create a power vacuum. He created a challenge. Suddenly, crime wasn't just about money. It was about spectacle. It was about proving you were bigger, crazier, and more theatrical than the Bat. The result? The mobsters were replaced by something way worse. The supervillain. Where crime was once about turf, it became about twisted ideologies, chaos, and a sick game of one-upmanship with Batman himself. Your odds of getting mugged by a petty thief went down, but your odds of being collateral damage in some madman's philosophical debate with a guy in a cape went way up. And the ultimate proof of this is the Joker. In so many of his origin stories, he is a direct reaction to Batman. In The Dark Knight Returns, the Joker is completely catatonic until news breaks that Batman is back. The Bat gives him purpose. They're two sides of the same sick coin. One can't exist without the other. Batman's crusade didn't just attract a new breed of criminal. It actively created them. He wanted to be a symbol of fear for criminals, but he became a symbol of inspiration for monsters. He launched an arms race where the weapons weren't guns, but mass destruction and theatricality, with the citizens of Gotham trapped in the middle. The biggest lie Batman ever told was that punching criminals in alleys is the best way to save a city. Because the real tragedy of Gotham isn't the supervillains, they're just a symptom. The disease is the city itself, a dystopia rotting from poverty, inequality, and corruption. And the one person with the power to actually cure that disease isn't Batman. It's Bruce Wayne. This is where it all falls apart. Bruce Wayne, the billionaire philanthropist, is the real villain here. He has a fortune that could remake Gotham from the ground up. But instead of waging a multi-billion-dollar war on the causes of crime, he wages a very expensive war on its products. Think about it. What if the money spent designing a Batmobile was spent on a reliable, free, public transit system? What if the budget for batarangs and spy drones was poured into Gotham's failing schools and underfunded mental health facilities? Now, some will say Bruce Wayne is a philanthropist, that the Wayne Foundation funds charities and hospitals. And that's true. He puts bandages on bullet wounds. He sets up clinics to help the victims of crime, but these are reactive measures, not proactive solutions. It's triage, not a cure. His own father, Thomas Wayne, was a surgeon who funded major infrastructure, tackling the city's problems at their source. Bruce inherited his father's desire for justice, but twisted it through the broken lens of his own trauma. Punching a mugger offers instant gratification, a feeling of heroism that you just don't get from a decade of lobbying for policy reform or funding social programs. It's easier to fight the desperate people created by a broken system than it is to fix the system itself. Gotham's crime is born from a massive wealth gap and a lack of opportunity. Bruce Wayne has the resources to fix this. Instead, he puts on a costume and beats up the symptoms, leaving the disease to fester. So if the first point is what Batman does to Gotham, and the second is what he fails to do, the third is all about why. And the answer is a deep, psychological trap of his own making, his famous no-kill rule. On the surface, it's a noble code, the one line he won't cross. But if you look closer, it's something far more sinister. The engine that keeps the whole cycle of violence going forever. Batman's no-kill rule ensures that his war never, ever ends. He'll capture a mass-murdering psychopath, only to hand them over to a justice system that he knows is completely broken. Arkham Asylum isn't a hospital. It's a revolving door, a punchline so well known that the characters in the comics even joke about it. Villains don't get rehabilitated. They get a timeout before their next inevitable breakout, where they return angrier and deadlier than before. The Joker literally sent Batman a revolving door as a gift to mock the futility of it all. So why does he do it? Why does a genius strategist keep using a system that fails every single time? Because on some level, Batman needs his villains. They are the living embodiment of his trauma. Keeping them alive and in the game means he will always have a monster to fight, a battle to win, and a reason to be Batman. He can't let go of his rogues gallery because if he did, he'd have to confront the silence and the unresolved pain from that night in the alley. This rule isn't really about morality. It's about control. Bruce Wayne is a man so defined by his trauma that he has built his life around reliving it, but in a way he can control. He doesn't kill because killing the Joker would mean an ending, and Batman's crusade can't have an ending. His purpose isn't to save Gotham, but to be locked in an eternal struggle. He hasn't just trapped himself. He has trapped his entire city in a loop of violence where every victory is temporary and every villain is guaranteed to come back. Okay, I know what you're thinking, but he saves people. He stops the bombs, rescues the hostages, and prevents countless deaths. And you're right. On a nightly basis, Batman is a hero. He wins battles, spectacularly. We can't ignore the good he does in the moment. But winning battles isn't the same as winning the war. A firefighter who puts out a blaze, but leaves the arsonist with a fresh can of gasoline hasn't solved the problem. Batman's heroism is almost entirely reactive. He's the world's greatest detective, but he's always one step behind, responding to catastrophes instead of preventing them. He stops the Joker's latest plot, but in doing so, he guarantees the Joker will be back to plot again. The argument isn't that Batman does no good. It's that the momentary good is overshadowed by the long-term damage his presence causes. He saves lives today, yes, but he also ensures that more lives will be in danger tomorrow. So when you add it all up, the picture becomes clear. First, Batman's theatrical war on crime created an escalation, transforming mobsters into monsters. Second, as Bruce Wayne, he fails to use his incredible wealth to fix the systemic rot, the poverty and corruption that actually creates criminals. And third, his own psychology. Disguised as a moral, no-kill rule, powers a revolving door for villains that guarantees the violence never stops. He's a man winning every battle while ensuring the war is lost from the start. But what if there was another way? Imagine a Gotham without Batman, but not a Gotham left to fend for itself. Imagine a city where its richest son, Bruce Wayne, stepped into the light instead of retreating to the shadows. A Gotham with a Mayor Bruce Wayne, or a Chairman Wayne who uses his fortune not for gadgets, but for radical social reform. Imagine a city where Wayne Enterprises rebuilds the slums not with charity, but with investment that creates jobs and opportunity. A city with the world's best-funded mental health facilities, capable of actually rehabilitating people. A city with a police force so well paid and supported that corruption is no longer the easy choice. That is the Gotham that could have been a city healed from its foundations, not just patrolled from its rooftops. Batman's story is a tragedy, not just because his parents died, but because their son chose a path of personal vengeance over true, lasting justice. He chose to be a symbol instead of a solution, and in doing so, he may have doomed the very city he swore to protect. But that's my take. What do you think? Is Batman a necessary hero in an impossible situation? Or is he the main reason Gotham is always suffering? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this breakdown, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into your favorite characters.